Think about how people used to meet each other just 20 or 30 years ago. You would go to a party, you would meet a friend of a friend, or maybe you would talk to someone at a coffee shop or at work. It was slow, it was natural. But today, the way we find love has completely changed. Everything happens on a screen. We have all been in this exact situation. You download a dating app because you are hoping to meet someone special. You set up your profile, you pick your best pictures, and you start swiping. You swipe for days. You go on a few bad dates. You get tired, you get frustrated, and finally, you delete the app. You tell yourself, Tinder is a complete waste of time. So you try something new. You download Hinge because their ads proudly say it is designed to be deleted. Or maybe you try OkCupid because it seems a little smarter and asks you deeper questions. When you do this, you feel like you took control. You left a bad system and moved to a better one. But what if I told you that you never actually left? What if the game was rigged from the very beginning, and no matter which app you use, the house always wins? Today, we are exposing the invisible giant that controls modern romance and the multi-billion-dollar business built on keeping you single. When you open the App Store on your phone and search for dating apps, you see dozens and dozens of choices. It looks like a massive free market where everyone is competing for your attention. The marketing of these apps tells you that they are all totally different from each other. Tinder is known as the fast, casual app. If you just want a quick date, you go there. Hinge is marketed as the classy app. If you want a serious, long-term relationship, you go there. OkCupid is for people who like to answer a lot of questions and look at data. Plenty of Fish is for older crowds. There are even specific apps built just for specific religions or specific income levels. This setup gives us the illusion of choice. We look at our phones and we think these different apps are fighting against each other to give us the best experience possible. We think if one app treats us badly or gives us terrible matches or charges too much money, we can just pack our bags, delete our profile, and give our time to their rival down the street. This makes us feel safe. But this is exactly what they want you to think. The truth is, there are no rivals down the street. The reality of the dating market is a lot darker than it looks. Those apps you see in the App Store are not rivals, they are roommates. Tinder, Hinge, Match.com, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, The League, and dozens of other dating platforms across the world are all owned by one massive corporation, Match Group. When you got mad at Tinder and deleted it to download Hinge, you didn't walk out of a bad casino to go to a better one. You just walked into a differently painted room inside the exact same building. The money still goes to the exact same bank account. Match Group owns the largest dating monopoly on the planet. They control well over 60% of the entire dating app market. They control the code and the algorithms that decide how millions of people meet, fall in love, and get married. But to understand this monopoly, we need to remember one very important factual reality. Match Group is a publicly traded company on the stock market. Their ultimate goal is not to help you find love. Their ultimate goal is to make a profit for their shareholders. So, how did one single company manage to trap the entire dating world? They used a very simple, ruthless business blueprint. Do not compete with your rivals. Just buy them. Match Group actually started way back in the 1990s with the website Match.com. As the internet grew, they realized something very important about the tech industry. If they only had one dating site, a new, cooler site could come along at any moment and steal all their users. So, instead of trying to invent the coolest new app every year, they decided to use their money to buy the competition before they became a threat. When Tinder blew up in 2012, it changed dating forever by inventing the swipe left, swipe right feature. Match Group made sure they took control of it. Tinder quickly became their biggest moneymaker. In fact, Match Group's takeover was so aggressive that the original founders of Tinder actually sued Match Group, claiming they were cheated out of billions of dollars when Match Group undervalued the company to buy them out. But the best example of their blueprint is Hinge. A few years ago, Hinge was growing very fast because they looked at the market and told people, "We are the exact opposite of Tinder." Hinge promised to get you off the apps and into a real relationship. It was a huge threat to Match Group's casual dating empire. So, what did Match Group do? They quietly bought Hinge. And they did not destroy it, they kept the anti-Tinder branding because it was highly profitable. Now, Match Group owns the app you use when you want to be single, and they own the app you use when you want to settle down. No matter what phase of life you are in, they own the road. Now we get to the mechanics of how this monopoly actually works. Once they own all the apps, how do they keep you trapped inside them? They use a psychological weapon called gamification. They turned human connection into a video game that you can never really win. Think about the basic business model for a second. Match Group's product is you. If you download an app on Monday, find the absolute love of your life on Tuesday, and delete the app on Wednesday, Match Group loses a customer forever. A happy, successful relationship is literally bad for their business. If everyone finds true love quickly, Match Group goes bankrupt. So, their hidden code, the algorithm, is designed to keep you hooked. They use the exact same psychology as a slot machine in Las Vegas. When you pull the lever on a slot machine, you don't win every time. You lose a lot, but you win just enough times to keep pulling the lever. The apps do the exact same thing. When you first join, the algorithm boosts your profile. They show your face to a lot of people. You get a bunch of matches right away. You feel great. You get a hit of dopamine in your brain. But after a few days, the matches dry up. Suddenly, you aren't seeing anyone good, and nobody is liking you back. You feel lonely again. Then, the app sends you a notification. It says if you just pay money for a super like, a boost, or a rose, they will show your profile to the best people again. They create a problem, they make you feel invisible, and then they sell you the cure. This is not a conspiracy theory. There is legal proof of these tactics. In 2019, the United States Federal Trade Commission actually sued Match Group. The government found that Match Group was allowing fake accounts and bots to send messages to free users. The app would email a free user saying, "Someone caught your eye," but to read the message, the user had to pay for a subscription. When they paid, they found out the message was just from a fake scam account. The government exposed that Match Group used human loneliness to trick people into paying. And the cure they are selling is incredibly expensive. Let's look at the hard financial numbers behind this monopoly. Today, Match Group makes over $3 billion every single year in revenue. But here's the craziest part about that money. The vast majority of people on dating apps never pay a single dime. They only use the free version. Out of the hundreds of millions of people who have used their apps, Match Group only has about 15 million paying users globally. So where do those $3 billion come from? They come from extracting massive amounts of cash from a very small group of desperate users. And who are these people? Statistically, they are mostly men. Because there are generally more men on these apps than women, men have a much harder time getting matches. The apps know the math, and they take advantage of it. They charge these users for premium subscriptions. Some of these apps charge $30, $40, or even $50 a month just to see a simple list of who liked your profile. Want to send a message to someone before you match with them? That costs extra money. Want to undo an accidental left swipe? That costs extra money. Tinder even introduced an elite tier that costs nearly $500 a month. It is a multi-billion-dollar empire built entirely on a toll system. They can charge these ridiculously high fees because they know you have no other choice. Because they own all the major apps. If you want to participate in the modern dating market, you have to pay their price. When a single massive company controls how human beings meet each other, the consequences for society are severe. Today, psychologists and data researchers are reporting a massive wave of something called dating app fatigue. People are just exhausted because the apps are designed exactly like video games. We have started treating human beings like products in a catalog. Swipe left, throw them away. Swipe right, keep them. If a person is not 100% perfect on the first date, we do not try to work it out. We just go back to our phones to find the next person. The app promises us that there is an endless supply of better people just one swipe away. This creates an endless cycle of rejecting perfectly good partners. The tragic result is that we are mathematically more connected to other humans than at any point in history. But studies show we are also lonelier than ever. Match Group did not invent human loneliness, but they did figure out how to put a price tag on it. They turned the beautiful, messy, human search for a soulmate into a cold, calculated, highly profitable assembly line. This brings us to the final lesson, and it is the most important rule of the Monopoly Blueprint. A business that is designed to profit from a problem will never actually solve that problem. This is especially true when that business becomes a massive public company that is forced to show financial growth to Wall Street every single year. Match Group sells you the hope of a relationship, but their real blueprint, their actual mathematical business model, relies on keeping you single, keeping you swiping, and getting you to pay for just one more month. They own the game, they own the board, and as long as you keep playing, they never lose.